When we speak of World War II, the mind often turns to September 1, 1939, the day Nazi Germany invaded Poland. This act undeniably ignited the global conflagration, drawing Britain and France into a war they had desperately tried to avoid. But to attribute the war solely to this invasion is to miss the profound, systemic failures and deep-seated resentments that had been brewing across Europe for decades. The true origins of this devastating conflict are far more intricate, a tapestry woven from economic despair, political instability, and ideological extremism. The seeds of future conflict were sown long before Hitler's rise, specifically in the aftermath of World War I. The Treaty of Versailles, signed in 1919, aimed to ensure lasting peace by punishing Germany for its role in the conflict. However, its terms were so punitive, imposing crippling reparations, territorial losses, and severe military restrictions, that they instead fostered deep-seated humiliation and resentment within the German populace. Many Germans saw it not as a peace treaty, but as a diktat, a dictated peace, breeding a fierce desire for revision and revenge that would be expertly exploited by future leaders. Just as Germany struggled under the weight of Versailles, the global economy faced unprecedented challenges. The Great Depression, triggered by the 1929 Wall Street crash, plunged nations worldwide into economic ruin. Germany, already suffering from hyperinflation in the 1920s, was hit particularly hard. Widespread unemployment, poverty, and social unrest created an environment ripe for political extremism. People lost faith in democratic institutions, desperately seeking radical solutions to their dire circumstances. This economic collapse proved to be a critical catalyst, pushing societies towards desperate measures. Amidst this economic and political chaos, a new, dangerous ideology began to gain traction: Nazism. Adolf Hitler and the Nazi Party masterfully capitalized on Germany's grievances, the humiliation of Versailles, the economic devastation, and the perceived weakness of democratic government. They offered a potent mix of ultranationalism, racial superiority, and promises of restoring Germany's former glory. Their message resonated with millions longing for stability, order, and a scapegoat for their suffering. The stage was set for a regime that would dismantle democracy and pursue an aggressive, expansionist foreign policy. As Hitler consolidated power and began to violate the Treaty of Versailles, rearming Germany, reoccupying the Rhineland, the international community responded with caution, not confrontation. Haunted by the horrors of World War I, Britain and France adopted a policy of appeasement. They believed that by conceding to some of Hitler's demands, they could avoid another devastating conflict. This strategy culminated in the 1938 Munich Agreement, where they allowed Germany to annex the Sudetenland region of Czechoslovakia. Far from ensuring peace, appeasement only emboldened Hitler, reinforcing his belief that the Western powers lacked the will to fight. With each concession, Hitler's ambitions grew unchecked. The remilitarization of the Rhineland in 1936, the annexation of Austria in 1938, the Anschluss, and the subsequent dismemberment of Czechoslovakia in early 1939 demonstrated a clear pattern of aggressive expansion. Each act violated international agreements, yet met with little effective resistance. The League of Nations, established to prevent such aggressions, proved largely toothless. The world watched as a new world order, based on nationalistic aggression rather than collective security, began to take shape, pushing Europe steadily closer to the brink of another war. The final straw came on September 1, 1939. Having secured a non-aggression pact with the Soviet Union, removing the threat of a two-front war, Germany launched a full-scale invasion of Poland. This time, the policy of appeasement had reached its absolute limit. Britain and France, having guaranteed Poland's independence, could no longer stand by. Their declarations of war against Germany on September 3, 1939, officially marked the beginning of World War II. The immediate trigger was clear, but the groundwork for this monumental conflict had been meticulously laid over 2 decades. Ultimately, World War II was not the result of a single cause, but a catastrophic confluence of historical grievances, economic instability, ideological extremism, and critical failures in international diplomacy. The punitive terms of Versailles, the devastating Great Depression, the seductive rise of totalitarian regimes like Nazism, and the misjudged policy of appeasement all contributed to an environment where another global war became not just possible, but inevitable. Understanding these complex origins is crucial to comprehending the profound lessons of the 20th century and the enduring importance of collective security and vigilant diplomacy in safeguarding peace.